Hello, welcome to episode 6. This is GOMEtv. I'm TK is Giant, and this episode is about Haldir. This is the first striker I'll be covering, and the first of many. Haldir is an archer, which there are 3 archers in the game. There's Haldir, Legolas, and Keely. So Haldir will be the first one I cover. They're all very different, even though they all are all 3 of them are archers. Now, unlike melee strikers, archers don't get that 15 attack penetration like the other strikers do in close range. And so what I decided to do in this game is, this is going to be a late game belt. I'm going to have Eagle Eye, and it has 60 basic attack penetration. And something you need to realize is adding just attack percentage, attack gems, attack speed is not the only way to increase your damage. One of the most effective ways is through penetration, and penetration will be the most effective against enemy guardians with the most resistance. It's pretty much that simple. Which for attack resistance, you're going to find those to be warriors and defenders. And for ability resistance, that's going to be, again, defenders, and then you have enchanters. And then there's strikers, which have very little resistance, and there's tacticians who have kind of decent resistance, a little bit on the lower end. They're not great at one or the other, they're kind of just in between. And with basic attack penetration, I'm going to really be focusing more on defenders and warriors, the ones that have the most attack resistance, because that's going to be how my belt's going to be the most effective. If you want to do more damage against other strikers or maybe tacticians, then just adding just straight damage is going to give you the most. It's going to really maximize your damage output. So I'm going to back up a minute here. I'm going to go back to my loadout. Talked about why the belt I chose and why it's good for Haldir. The first relic I use is a mid-game relic. It's Dragon's Hoard. For each enemy kill, gives you plus 2% basic attack damage, and that stacks up to 20 times on a total of 40% boost in your attack percent. So you lose 5 stacks on death, which is going to be 10%, and it's really going to give you a huge boost. Anybody who has high damage, they're going to get the most effect out of it. And the first thing I did was I gave it a regular plus 6 basic attack damage gem, and the reason for that is because at such a low level, having a percent attack gem is really not going to do much. It might give me like 2 extra damage, maybe 3. I didn't calculate it out, but it's going to be a lot less than what you would get with just a basic attack gem. And that's something I would recommend to anybody with a first gem, is the red gem with Haldir, is go for just the basic attack gem. It'll give you a big boost right off the bat when you hit level 2 in the very beginning, and really increase your damage output. And if you accompany that extra 6 damage with a attack potion that gives you extra 20 damage, you'll be doing another 25 or 26 damage total on top of your already basic attack damage. And that's going to really hurt early in the game. So I went with Dragon's Sword to boost my damage in the middle of the match. And then for my other 3 gems, I went with 2 movement and then 1 attack percent gem. And the reason I chose movement speed was because when you only have maybe 2 or 3 slots for yellow, you're really way better off just going movement speed. You're not going to get enough effect off of attack speed to really do much against any enemy guardians. Movement speed will be much better at getting away and chasing down enemy guardians. Now for my second relic, like I said, I went with Eagle Eye to really benefit from the penetration on higher resistant guardians. And you can see here we have a Rune Sig, which has decent resistance, higher than for the other tacticians. And then you have the Great Goblin, who has very good resistance. I believe he's even running a resistance belt, so that'll be very useful for our team. And you also have Golem when he's using his ability that holds you and roots you down. He has maximum resistance. it'll even be very good for that situation as well. Now for Eagle's Eyes, for my green gem, I chose basic attack resistance, and that was only because I'm taking 10% more damage, so I figured I'd be able to take a little more attack damage. But if I were to replay this match, I might just put in a basic health gem, which gives me another 45 health, and that'll just kind of add a little bit more health to my pool, make me maybe live a little longer, maybe in certain situations be able to get away with just a few health. And that's probably the only thing I would have done a little bit different this match. And for the other gems, I went with basic attack gems, and that'll really give me the most attack damage later in the match. It'll be more than 6 because I have such high basic attack damage. If I were a Guardian with very low attack damage late game, then your better bet would be just basic attack gems. But percent gems are very good for strikers, anybody who has high basic attack. Now I'm starting to really push way too hard. Haldir should not be pushing this hard when you play him. Just kind of was in the moment, really wanted to go for it. It was high risk and it paid off well, but I would not recommend anybody do that move right there. Going to Haldir's abilities, I would say level up Forest Spirit first. This will give you an increase of movement speed and an increase in attack speed. For the second ability that I like to level up is Treetop Ambush. And what it does is it's probably the best teleport in the game. It'll teleport you instantly to any location within range. And then it also lets you stun your enemy for up to 1 second on your first basic attack after your teleport. And this is very useful for hunting enemy guardians down that are trying to make an escape, or while running away, you take a shot back, stun them, and then keep running. And like any stun, it'll disrupt any enemy guardian's ability. When your ultimate's available, that's going to be your top priority. What it does is gives you one single powerful shot, dealing 145 damage up to 385 ability damage. This is an amazing ability, finishing off any enemy guardian. It has such a long range, it's killed me so many times, and I've gotten so many kills with it. It's really just a great move. And it can even be very beneficial in a team fight if any enemies try to run away. And then for the final ability I level up is Sea of Arrows, which roots an enemy guardian for 1.1 second and does 40 ability damage, scaling up to 130 when fully leveled. One great thing about archers and what they're very good at is jumping between lanes, and you can see me doing it pretty effectively. We haven't had much of a team fight so far in this game, so I've been keeping an eye out for enemy guardians on my map and looking for the ones that have low health and trying to get in there for a kill. And the other thing archers are great at is just doing poke damage. Like I've mentioned before, they just like to poke and poke and poke, and you really just keep the enemy's health as low as you can. Makes you more of a threat. They have to waste their potions, they can't really push out as much, and it really just puts you in a great position and sets you in a good position as an archer. The other great things I like about archers is how they can just walk up to the tower, put a couple hits, walk back out of range, then move right back in, take a few more shots, and then still be in a relatively safe position as long as they're not an enemy guardian who can do a pull and a root. As far as commands go for archers, I like to choose a heal command because of archers, how easily they take damage. Especially early game, they're very easy to kill. And the second command I like to use is Smite, because of how much damage it can do early in the game at level 3, and also lowers resistance, really making it very easy for you and your partner in your lane to do a lot of damage, maybe get an enemy kill. For the third command I like to use Lightning, and that's because archers don't have any very good team fight abilities, especially ones that do damage to multiple targets. I think Healy is the only exception with his ultimate ability that can go through multiple guardians. But other than that, they really don't have much that can do anything to multiple targets. And for the fourth and final command, I like to do the aerial strike, and that's really great for pushing enemies back. It's also a great ability in team fights if your team's not doing so good, to push them off and maybe live another day and heal back up. And it's also great for pushing enemies off your towers if they're making advancements, and there's really not too much you can do about it. While these enemies are hiding in their towers, I'm going to try to sneak in range, take a couple hits, and kind of go back out of the tower's range. And that's going to allow me and my teammates to really start hitting that tower. If I start making their health go below half, a lot of them are going to back off behind the tower, which is very important when you want to try to take some damage on it. And they might even go back and heal themselves at our very back tower. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now as an archer. And as you can see, I've really been pretty effective here at making the enemies back off their towers and go and heal. A lot of them are now starting to hide behind their tower, and now we just took the bottom tower. So right now we're going to focus on clearing creeps and then going to the next tower. One of the great things you can have while you're in the enemy base is a healing totem, and you can see we had one there, it just faded away. And we also have an Aowen, which is keeping everybody's health up. And having an Aowen and having a Galadriel and also a Wolfren is great to have on your team, especially when you're in the position of the enemy's base, because it allows you to keep everybody's health up, which is really important when you want to keep sustaining your assault on the enemy base. And you can see there I made some misjudgment. I didn't see Runesig there, and I didn't know he was going to be there, so I got killed. My intention was to jump over, use my aerial strike to push Unglob down, and then just go around and meet back up with my team and get healed. But that's not what ended up happening, and so I died at the end of the match, almost right there. So after dying, I went to go to the barracks. I was going to go level that up to help our enemy team push their base, but I saw Unglob was already on top of that, so I decided to head back over at the final base and just try to finish this match as quickly as I could. Haldir isn't the most agile archer, so it takes me a little bit to walk back. You have your teleport though, and you have your A ability that lets you have increased movement speed. Just kind of speed things up a little bit. So we are on the last top tower. Once you finish this last tower, before you have that final tower, really makes things collapse for them. They don't have nothing to hold their defense at. They're usually put in a situation where they have to engage you, then go back and heal, and then try to engage you again, and it usually doesn't work very well. So once that last tower goes down, it's pretty much a guaranteed win in most situations. Not always. There's been many situations where you get to the last tower and you can't finish the game. They just put a good hold. But in this situation, we were able to finish them, no problem. And that'll conclude my video of Haldir. Thanks guys for watching, and tell other people about my channel. Have them check it out. Hope you guys tell me how you play Haldir. I hope to have some more videos up very soon. Thanks.